Today I'd like to talk about the 4 pieces of advice I give people for buying bikes online. Hi, my name is Johnny. I've been in the e-bike industry for 6 years and I've been a flagship Mokwheel dealer for 3 years. I own 3 stores in Oregon, and today I'd like to talk about the 4 things to avoid when buying a bike online. So the first thing I'd like to talk about when buying a bike online, the first thing you should watch out for, does the bike company have a website? Even if you're going to buy from a third party or from a big box store, you still want to make sure that brand has a website and that website looks legitimate. So that means a lot of information, good functioning, lots of pages, lots of product information, frequently asked questions, things like that that make sure that the company looks like it's investing quite a bit in its own products and investing a lot in the customer experience. You might find a great deal on Amazon, you might find a great deal on Walmart.com, you might find some of these really good values, but if the company doesn't have a website, I would say it's probably not gonna be around for a while, and that right there is a dead giveaway that you might get something that you either can't fix or you can't find parts for in a couple years, because they might be here for 1 or 2 more months or 2 more years, and then they're gone. So that's the first thing I tell people when buying a bike online. Make sure it has a great website, something that shows you that it's a legitimate company and that it's here to stay. The second thing I tell people when buying a bike online, make sure you're familiar with the warranty and the return policy. If you buy a bike and it doesn't turn on, which I see all the time, I see people build their bikes, get to the point where they're turning it on and it just doesn't turn on. I tell people right away, don't try to fix it, try to return it. Because number 1, you're gonna get faster service. Number 2, you shouldn't have a bike that you just bought that doesn't work and that you're fixing. And number 3, that's gonna be the best way to know that they are standing behind their product. So get familiar with their warranty and their return policy, because a lot of times companies will tell you that it's a 14-day return policy, but what they don't tell you is that it's from the time they ship the bike, or it's from the time you receive the bike, or that they're not going to pay for return shipping, which could be a couple $100. They also might tell you you need to put it in the original packaging, which you might not have. So those are all a couple things just right off the top of my head of why you should be very familiar with the return policy, because if you get a bike that you cannot turn on, that should not be something that you should fix. That should be something that you should return. And that's another thing is to watch out for is don't throw away the packaging. Make sure that you keep it. Make sure that you're familiar with the time frame. Make sure that you're familiar with how much it's going to cost to ship a full e-bike back to wherever that warehouse might be. So make sure you're familiar with the return policy. That's the second thing I always tell people when buying a bike online. The third thing I always tell people when buying a bike online is make sure it has an American customer service line, and make sure it has a customer service email. If you see something that's another country code and doesn't start in 1, or it's not a 1-800, you're going to have to deal with trying to find the right time of the day to call them. And then you're also going to have to deal with the fact that if it's a warranty issue from an overseas phone number, that probably means that the parts are going to come from overseas as well. You are going to be looking at a more expensive shipping rate, an import tariff, and even a longer wait time. So right away, that's a dead giveaway that you're buying something exotic and it's coming from far away, and that means the parts are coming from far away, and that means the customer service is coming from far away. So all of those things are going to make it extremely difficult to fix and extremely lengthy and expensive to fix. So those are some giveaways right away that's going to tell you this bike company is not based in America, it doesn't have a warehouse in America, and it doesn't even have a customer service line in America. So you are right away buying something highly exotic, and it may or may not be fixable, and even if it is, it's going to be expensive, and it's going to be extremely time consuming to get the parts for and get them installed. So that's the third thing I tell people when buying an e-bike online. The fourth thing I tell people when buying an e-bike online is make sure that they have parts available to purchase. Hopefully that is from their website. If they have chargers to purchase, if they have batteries to purchase, if they have wheel sets, if they have controllers, displays, All of those things are going to extend the life of your bike well beyond its warranty, and that's in turn going to increase its resale value. That's in turn going to create less headaches for you. When I have people, probably 50% of the calls I get as an e-bike shop owner are people looking for chargers. And you have to remember that all e-bike chargers are unique to the e-bike. That means the diameter of the plug, the voltage, everything is unique to an e-bike. Very, very important to remember. Make sure that the bike parts are available to purchase, because you're going to have a much easier time down the road when you know you might need a charger, or when you know you might need a new set of tires, or whatever it is. Some of those smaller tires are going to be harder to find. Some of those chargers are going to be really difficult to find in a couple years. So make sure you have parts available to purchase. If you have parts available to purchase, you're going to be able to service them at bike shops a lot easier, because you're going to be able to walk in with the part and the email and the customer service conversations. At least have a lot more information to give them, as opposed to just being like, I don't know, I bought this third hand and there's no part stores for it. When you're selling an e-bike and somebody wants to know, hey, well, how long is the battery going to last? What's the cost of a new one? And you don't have that information, that bike is essentially going to become worthless, or so invaluable that you won't be able to get any return on your investment. So that's the fourth thing I always tell people when buying a bike online. Yes, it's convenient. Sure, it's one click away. You wait a few days, the bike shows up, but you're going to be on your own for setup. You're going to be on your own for tuning. You're going to be on your own for customer service. So those are the four things I always tell people to look out for, because unfortunately, I've had to tell so many people that something they bought even recently is now essentially worthless because they need a controller, or they need a display, or they need a charger, and those things are not available, and there's no one to call, and there's no way to get your money back. But yeah, those are the four things I always tell people to watch out for. Those are the honest advice from a Mokwheel dealer and from a bike shop owner that I can give you to make the best decision you can make when purchasing a bike online. So that's it. So thanks for watching. I hope you found it helpful. If you hit the like button or subscribe for more Mokwheel tips, more e-bike industry insight, I'm going to be happy to share it with you. And let me know in the comments if you have any more ideas for questions. All right, so that's it. Thanks so much.